Charlottesville and Albemarle County, there was a decrease in drug overdoses in 2024.
But that does not mean the issue is solved. In fact, officials believe the lower statistics are due to underreporting. After digging into the numbers, Avery Davis joins us live in the newsroom with our top story at 6.
Naloxone, or Narcan, is an over-the-counter nasal spray used to stop overdoses. Charlottesville and Albemarle County spent the last year trying to make it available to everyone. Officials tell me they believed it worked to lower overdoses in more ways than one.
We have seen a reduction in our responses to overdoses over the year.
Joe Phillips is the Deputy Chief of Community Risk Reduction for Charlottesville's Fire Department. He says there was a 26% drop in overdose calls from 2023 to 2024.
But that's not saying we're still not seeing overdoses, and they are definitely happening in our community.
We know from hospital data and other data that's out there that people are still overdosing. They may just not be calling 911 as much.
Emily Palicha is the Deputy Chief of Community Risk and Resilience for Albemarle County Fire Rescue. She says Albemarle County and Charlottesville share the same theory of why overdose numbers in the area are down this year.
This is Narcan.
Efforts to make Narcan widely available have been successful, both Phillips and Palicha say, but now they believe some are using this at-home method instead of calling 911.
People are using the Narcan before we ever get there. We're seeing a lot of that on the calls we do run, and then sometimes we just don't even have to run the call.
Last year, Albemarle County Fire Rescue received 148 overdose calls, down from 164 in 2023. 7 of those overdoses were fatal, with 4 of those deaths being from fentanyl. While the downward trend is positive, Palicha says there's still a lot of work to be done.
We'd like to see as low a response as possible, but that doesn't change the fact that there are still overdoses in this community.
Charlottesville Chief of Police Michael Kochis says Narcan saves lives, but it's a temporary fix.
I think people are overdosing less. Our numbers show that. But what we're not seeing is the overdoses that aren't being reported.
Kochis says his officers are targeting the illicit drug market, but he wants to see long-term solutions for addicts.
There definitely needs to be a focus on treatment and getting the folks the help that they need.
The director of the Blue Ridge Poison Center, Chris Holsage, says he's seeing fewer patients come in with overdose symptoms.
We had a large drop that was almost all attributable to the adult population.
From 533 calls related to opioid overdoses in 2023 to 414 in 2024, that's a 22% decrease. Holstage says few of those patients come to the hospital after administering Narcan.
It is exceedingly rare from my practice to see someone who comes by private vehicle, comes in and said, hey, I took naloxone, I'm fine now, but I'm worried.
What he has seen in some cases is Narcan not fully doing its job. He says the outcome can be fatal.
That naloxone only works so long, and I worry that some of the products that are out there can work for a long time. They can resedate, and I've seen people die from that.
Whether it's opioids or marijuana people are using, Holstage wants people to be aware of the risk.
Again, if they need a naloxone to wake them up, they need to go to the hospital.
And those working in public safety say they are a resource, not a threat.
So if we run an overdose, we're not turning that in to anyone that would get you in trouble. We want to come and help you and assist you, and we want to take away the fear of calling 911.
Drugs of any form can be deadly.
It's a dangerous game out there, and people just need to be aware what they're into.
Chief Kochis says he believes stricter legislation fighting the opioid epidemic is the best long-term solution.
People staying under a bridge in Charlottesville were asked to relocate this morning by the city due to health and safety concerns. Kendall Hansen visited the area and spoke with those who have been impacted. It's our top story at 5.
Charlottesville closed the Rivanna Trail under Free Bridge this morning as cleanup crews worked under the roadway. For the unhoused in that area, that meant relocation further into the trail.
Dangerous area for the unhoused population. There's a lot of rising water levels that can occur in that area, and it's very unsafe.
That safety concern is why Charlottesville City Hall says the encampment under Free Bridge along the Rivanna River was blocked off, closed up, and cleaned up on Monday morning. Not everyone sees it as a real step towards safe living.
No matter what, they're part of our community. We should help them the best way we can and not penalize them for doing the best they can with what they have.
Thada Mensah is with the Blue Ridge Area Coalition for the Homeless. She visits encampments along the Rivanna Trail, connecting unhoused people with resources.
I feel like they found a good spot for them to shelter, which was the coolest, and then it was by water. And if it rained, it had the bridge, shelter. It makes sense for them to be right there.
Mensah says people staying under Free Bridge were asked to leave, moving their belongings and tents from the area to somewhere else.
Not that big of a problem if it's hidden. If they go further back on the trail and into the brush and shrubbery where you can't see them as much, then they're not usually bothered as much.
Kyle Irvin with the city of Charlottesville says police have been assisting individuals with relocation for 2 weeks, connecting them with resources and storage for their belongings.
This is the city and the community coming together, local nonprofits from the area coming together to help people that live in the city, make sure that they're safe.
Mensah says moving people out from here and scattering them does not solve the core problem of homelessness.
I wish I had an area that I could go tell them to be, and they could be safe and be left alone, because we don't have a year-round shelter.
Mensah says she feels the community doesn't want to see the unhoused, but with limited housing in the city, there's few places people can turn to for shelter.
Ryan is resigning from his position as the president of the University of Virginia. The sudden departure is linked to pressure from the Justice Department about UVA's diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts, and accusations that Ryan slow-played changes demanded by the Trump administration. Kate Nectarline joins us live on grounds with our top story at 5. Kate.
Aaron, we've just received a statement from Ryan confirming his resignation from the University of Virginia. He says he's inclined to fight for what he believes in, but believe that going up against the federal government unilaterally could put faculty at risk of losing their jobs and students at risk of losing their visas and financial aid. Now, what Ryan is calling an excruciatingly difficult decision has already drawn intense reactions from the community.
Having the feds come in and force out a leader is just unprecedented and truly outrageous.
Senator Tim Kaine is not happy about Jim Ryan leaving UVA.
But the notion of we're in midstream on an investigation and hey, we'll drop the whole thing if you resign. I mean, that is just, it's bullying.
And he's not alone. State Senator Cree Deeds, who represents Charlottesville, agrees.
I think it's a tragedy and it's Virginia's loss. There's no question about that.
The New York Times reports that the Justice Department privately demanded that Ryan resign as part of a deal that would include the federal government settling a civil rights investigation into DEI policies on grounds. John Reed is the Republican nominee for Lieutenant Governor.
I think it's past time for President Ryan to step down, and I hope that everybody who's associated with the University of Virginia will recognize that they need to recommit to solid management practices and stop pushing the DEI.
According to the Times, Ryan told the Board of Visitors that he planned to step down at the end of next academic year, but given the current circumstances, he decided to resign now.
It threatens the independence of the university. It casts a shadow on the integrity of the research and the teaching that we do at the university.
Eric Lindstrom is a history professor at UVA and one of 100 UVA faculty members who signed a letter condemning federal interference on grounds.
And it's just an outrageous violation of academic freedom.
Kaine is now warning universities across the state and the nation, saying if it could happen here, it could happen anywhere.
You have to be a president that, is loyal to the president of the United States, or your job's in danger.
We will have Ryan's full statement to the UVA community on our website. For now, live on grounds, Kate Nectarline, 29 News at 5.